I don't think we'll have any problems with this boss. He's not dying as quick as I thought he... Oh, never mind. Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be going with a serial casting build. So we'll want to be using the dash set for both the tracking and the lightning dash. Both of those are going to be important parts of the build. We'll be going with Nightmare 3 today, and let me check and see if my ban list is actually saved. I think we're good with this. So what we're doing is banning a lot of the epics for this run, and we want to be hitting mana absorption. That's going to be a very, very, very important part of the build. Along with that, we might want to hit some stuff like multi-shot, but the main important ones are stuff like serial, time duration, and then any of the damage boosting stuff, crit stuff, and then we might also run into some split and volley at some point during the runs. So what I used to do all the time was skip forward throughout the early rooms, the early stage 1 and 2. That way I could get to putting the build together quicker. But what I want to ask you guys this time is, do you prefer that, or do you want to see more of the decision-making of how I do the first and second area? Ooh, an epic right away. I'm very happy with that. Let's lock the volley, take the core flame, and then take the damage boost. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you would rather see the build get put together faster in the video by me just cutting out the early stages, or if you want to see the decision-making process of the early stages. Because I realize you do miss out on a lot of stuff like relic selections and that type of thing. I'm going to pick up Hunter's Talisman here, and then I'm going to also edit it real quickly to be level 2, so I will see you guys in just a second. Okay, we are back. So every time I do a run in this game, I have to either edit one of my relics into a Hunter's Talisman, or if I get it early on, I just level it up to level 2 with Cheat Engine. That's something I have to do because I get motion sickness extremely easily from any type of screen movement. So if I'm moving around and the screen starts scrolling, then it's going to give me motion sickness. So having the extra zoom out from Hunter's Talisman is something that helps me out a lot. Otherwise, the thing I don't really like about the early game in this is that it's pretty much the same thing every time. There's not really a whole lot going on build-wise, unless you get enough spells early on that go with your build. But I'm not opposed to showing more of it. Either way is fine with me, just let me know what you guys want to see in the comments. So let's take Precise Shot and Fuse here. Fuse is going to be another important part of the final setup, and for now we can use it to get a lot more of the lightning dash orbs on screen at once. So if we use the lightning dash as just the dash itself, we can't cast any more of them when we're locked into the duration. The good thing is that you do get invincibility during that, so it is useful on its own for that type of thing. But in terms of doing higher DPS, you want to be able to have more of them out at once. I don't really want to mess with this. I don't trust myself enough. And I really don't like playing around that one either, so we'll just skip out on this for now. So yeah, by using something like Fuse, or Echo, or Serial, any of that type of thing, you can turn the lightning dash into a projectile, and then have multiple of them out at the same time. Endless Chest is kind of tempting here, but Healing Belt this early on is going to scale nicely throughout the rest of the run. So now you can see that, now that I can cast the multiple Lightning Orbs, we can clear through this early game extremely quickly. Nothing should be a problem for the whole first and second area using this setup. Now here's the question. Spells or relics? I think I would rather go for relics early on. A lot of the relics will scale better or be more effective the earlier you get them in the run. Like Prospector's Gloves, the Potion Belt, the Seed of Greed, that type of thing. I mean, Seed of Greed is one that you can charge up pretty easily over any point of the run, but getting it early on does help out too, especially if I'm going to be taking Blood Relics. So one glitch that's going to happen is Hunter's Talisman level 3 is going to show up, since I did edit things in through Cheat Engine, but I just won't take it. Fortune's Earring is another good example of something that you can get early on that will be effective throughout the entire run, and it'll be more effective the earlier you see it. Spells, you can always just get your build set up later on. You can reroll spells a lot and stuff, but relics, you want to look for them early on, I think. At least that's just how I prefer to play. There are a lot of different ways you can do things throughout the early game. If you really just want to get your spell selection set up early on, you can go to an extra shop or two. That'll help. As long as you have high starting money and the rerolls unlocked. Energizer Wand, huh? I mean, it's not really going to do anything here. The passive isn't, but having the additional wand slots will obviously help out that way. Soulbone Mantle is definitely a good pickup here. Do I want to bother with Silver Key? You know what, let's use Conversion Potion, and then we'll take the Silver Key. I think it'll be fine. I don't think keys are too hard to really stack up over the course of the run, if I'm paying attention in shops at least. That's something that I need to get used to more. In most of my videos so far, I don't bother buying any like keys or anything from the shops, even though I should be. So I think this energy saver is probably worth it. Actually, let's see. I think it's probably worth it for now. Reducing the duration on them isn't great, but having more of them out is going to help for now, or having a constant stream of them out. Later on, we might take the energy saver off. I probably won't visit a single Reforge room until maybe the end parts of this area, or even the next area. That's usually how I've been doing things. Hexagonal die is what I should take here. I really like having the extra safety of treants, though. Let's go hexagonal die. Let's be a little risky. Oh, thank you for the 2 keys that I don't need. I don't want to deal with Misfortune. Explosive Pursuit is probably fine. I don't really want to deal with Expired Bounty. And I'll take... This is not worth it at all. Oh well. I'll probably just try and remove these at some point, too. The bomb is something I will probably get myself hit by when I'm trying to sit there and look at spells or explain something. So the way that these skip rooms work, the ones where you get 4 rooms worth at once, they give you very consistent results between each runs, But if you're going for something specific, like looking for a whole bunch of relics early or looking for a bunch of spells early, you can potentially get a lot more relic rooms or spell rooms without taking them. It'll just be random that way. We do have Prospector's Gloves here, so I think that's pretty much a no-brainer of taking that. Another track isn't the worst thing, but it's not something we need quite yet. Let's take the double overload for now, and then maybe the track next. Compression is fine to take. It is going to make it harder to get rid of the curses, but that's fine. And we get another split for that. Or we get a split. We don't have any... I'm thinking of the last run where I had earlier splits. What's our crit rate at? 90%? I can probably take the Precise Shot off for a crit. Maybe it'd be better to take the Energy Saver off, but I'm not sure. And let's go for some more coins here. With the extra Core of Flame, we're pretty easily able to go through all these early rooms. Which, I think even if I didn't have the Core of Flame, it would be pretty easy to get through them anyways. Do we want the other tree? Actually, we didn't take the treant earlier. Let's not bother with it. Maybe I should just go... Let's go for this, and then we'll take this one to... Not really getting too rewarded for these, though. Maybe we can use that Purification Potion at some point, if we get some other things to shield beforehand. Or if... I mean, we need a shield afterwards, is what I mean. Area Boost is never bad to take. I will take the split here to... Let's go with Area Boost and split for now. And then we can Area Boost over... Oh, not quite yet. I want to Area Boost the Core Flame because it saves a lot of room in the wand, but I can't quite do that yet. I think we will go ahead and take the Energy Saver back off. I want the extra duration, especially now that I got the split set up. I don't need to worry about casting the spell a whole bunch of multiple times. If I can get the duration and the damage to where they either kill everything before I need to cast again, or they kill enough things that I can cast again when I have my mana back. Or, I mean, they last long enough that I can cast them again once they expire. Let's go with Prototype and Track here, I guess. How long is Track? It's only an extra second, so it's not worth putting in my Area Boost yet. Okay, so what we could do... We could go for the Spring, remove all the curses, and then take the Spring. But I might not even want to do that, though. I could go for the Relic that gives me extra damage for curses, and that'd be a 50% damage boost already. We could also wait and see if we hit a Tear of the Goddess potion. That would also be able to remove all my relics without having a downside. We got Prospector's Goblet, so we've got a money-making setup going. Now we just need to find the Prospector's Pick. I don't think... Yeah, we're not in a place where reforging would be worth it right now, I don't think. I'm pretty low on spell count in general, it feels like. Though I do actually have a lot in the wand, so that might be why it feels like I don't have many. Okay, so Boomerang Blade is something I can potentially use in the build. That's something I might need for the earlier parts of the build. We're still missing serial casting, which is supposed to be the whole point of the build. So maybe... let's go ahead and go into a shop now. See if we can get the serial casting. Maybe a wand with more space in it as well. Though I don't think we're gonna find much better of a wand for now. I'll take the overload, that'll get it to plus next time we're at a shop. I want the Mimic Cube. Probably not yet. Let's just keep re-rolling. I'll take the split. And I might take the Capacity Stone as well. I can make up for the damage that loss. It's not going to... we're not going to get the serial casting yet, unfortunately, but hopefully we can pick that up soon. And let me figure out what I want to do with my wand, and then I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, I think we'll probably just slap the overloads on there for now. We have pretty decent duration, so I think it's going to be fine. The extra mana cost. One thing that's important here is that I want to make sure and put the overloads on the right side of the fuse. I don't want them increasing the mana cost of the fuses themselves, that would be very wasteful. So that's something important to pay attention to when you're doing certain builds like this. Because the way that these work is, you can see on the bottom it says it affects all available spells on the right. We're doing the same thing with these splits. We don't want them on the left of the fuses because they will increase the cost of fuse. Having the splits fuse will create more... Oh, that was not good. Having the splits... having the fuses split will create more of the lightning orbs, but it's probably not worth the mana cost right now. We could get Healing Belt level 2, but I don't think it's that important. At least not for this build. Let's just reroll and... Oh, perfect! Blade of Fury is very nice to see this early on. I think it's on the right side, but I'm not sure here. Nope. Ooh, that is, that is not too good. What debuffs did we get here? Scatter, and we really need to get rid of that Profanity. I'm perfectly fine with the Scatter, but the Profanity is not something I can deal with. Let's go for the spells. I was thinking I could maybe go into the shop room and then remove all the curses with my potion and buy some healing and shielding that way, but I don't think it's really worth it yet. I think it'd be better just to find a spring room to do that kind of thing. Let's grab the duration. The volley is something I might or might not use, so I'm just leaving it locked for now. Okay, conversion potion will help out as well. Actually, no, it won't. I forget that purification potion also removes shields. Let's keep going for more relics for now. Another thing about taking a bunch of spell rooms early on is that unless you're getting things to plus, you're not going to have the wand slots for it until you get later wands. So that's another reason why I personally prefer taking relics early on. Berserker's not bad here, assuming I ever get below half health with how much shielding I have, so I'm going to pass on it. And I will definitely take the bunny ears. So let's see if there's anything we can do here. It might not be a bad idea to Mimic Cube the tracking for some extra duration. Let's do that. I think we have plenty of... We have 80% crit anyways, so it's fine. I don't know how quickly this boss is going to be going down, so having the extra duration is a pretty safe move here. Alright, let's see how this works. Yeah, he's really not going down too quickly, but it's not bad by any means. If you get a good enough setup by this point, you can easily just start one-shotting this boss and all the rest of the bosses, but I wouldn't consider this bad damage by any means. Stellar Horn could definitely work here. We have high enough crit rate that we can easily just build out of the negative 30%. This would also be pretty interesting because we do crit a lot, but I don't really have a use for the post slots on it. So I don't think that's going to be the play here, unfortunately. That'd be more of something I have to build around in a separate build. So we do have the infinite keys. You know what? Let's try the Silver Compass here. It's not one I take too often, unless I get like a key duplication potion pretty early on and get a bunch of keys stacked up that way. Or I have the silver key. So here's where I might want to start considering... I'm gonna go ahead and take the shortcut room anyways. Maybe after this one we won't. I want to get some HP right away, is why I'm taking this one. Even though I really shouldn't burn through 145 shielding, but who knows? With me, anything is possible. I would always much prefer just to take the safe option. Okay, finally we get the cereal. We could take range boost, but I don't think it doesn't matter a whole lot. So let's just go ahead and pick up the volley in case we need it later. None of these really matter. None of these really matter either. Take Electrified Crown for now. That Wealth Potion will be good to save for later. We can drop this Crystal Potion, get another Crystal Potion apparently. Refresh Potion is nice. I do want to hang on to one of these. Or do I even... Maybe I just don't even worry about the curses at this point. I don't think any of the curses are that bad. The worst one I have is definitely the relic selection one. Or is it the spell selection? Yeah, the relic option. That one we can try to remove with a statue or two. But at this point I'm also just not opposed to getting the relic that gives me more damage based on curses. Oh man, I wanted the plus over on the right side. We can try for it one more time. Discount potion is also pretty acceptable. Let's go ahead and just drop the emergency potion. Oh man! I want to keep that wealth potion too. Let's just go ahead and drop the... It's not really that worth it to use the conversion potion when I'm at such low HP, but it's fine. And then let's hit up another spell room. Don't really need to worry about money too much with how much money I have right now and the double wealth potion. If we can find a potion that duplicates money, then we'll be even better off. But I don't think I'll spend a whole 400 before the end of the run. And we don't have Prospector's Pickaxe yet, so we don't need to worry about that for damage scaling, but we might need to keep it in mind for later. Multi-shot's going to work really well here, and then let's lock this and take the area boost and lock the Tranquil as well. This is what I don't like. I need to fix my wand slots now, but the bombs will keep spawning and damaging me. So I have to try and multitask. The bombs aren't that often though, so it's not that big of a deal. So what do we want to stick on this area boost? I think we put a duration. And then... No. Definitely we put the Core Flame here. That will save up a slot in my main wand. And then we're going to stick a multi-shot here. Oh, really? I don't have enough mana for that. We're going to be switching things anyways. Probably take out an Overload for now. We're going to drop Boomerang Blade here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to serial cast the Lightning Dashes instead of the Fuse setup. It's going to work pretty much the same way, where it turns them into projectiles, except with Serial, it's a 70% mana cost instead of the 90% of Fuse. And Serial gets down to a pretty low mana cost once it's upgraded. Oh, perfect! The Snail, though, I don't actually know what that does, but the problem is, does the Snail work in shop rooms? Whatever, let's do it. And then do we want to go into the shop here? Let's just keep going spell rooms. We'll shop later. Did I do something wrong? No. Okay, I couldn't see the lightning orb projectiles for some reason there. Maybe I'm blind. So now you can see it's the same concept as before, but it's just whenever... Instead of the fuse, it'll be multiple of them as long as the boomerang blades are out. And I take Boomerang Blade for this because it has spell penetration on it by default. With other spells, you would have to worry about something like... Okay, let's go into the processing room here so I can think for a little bit. Okay, luckily the snail doesn't move in here, but the bombs are still a problem. But anyways, if you were to put another type of projectile here, it would hit the enemy once, and then you wouldn't be getting any more serial cast. Whereas, if I throw out the Boomerang Blade, it'll constantly hit the enemy a couple times, and then be able to throw out multiple of the lightning dashes, instead of just one. Okay, so... give me some time to think about what I want to do here. and then I'll cut to when I'm done with the room. Okay, so now we've got the one set up with... We're mimicking a Tranquil Bloom Plus to give a lot of MP regen, so we can actually sustain the overload, the multi-shot, and all the splits on here. And then we got the Serial up to plus and the Boomerang Blade up to plus. The Boomerang Blade extra penetration is going to help, but other than that, it's not really that big of a deal to plus it. The Serial Plus, on the other hand, makes a huge difference in the mana cost. I probably should have shown off the DPS. It was doing around 5k when I tested it, but I forgot to show it again after the cut. That's okay, though. And then let's check on the actual room DPS, though. Of course, the Lightning Dash is doing all the work here. Oh, another important thing is that... Maybe I did this before, I don't remember. But the Core of Flame is now on the area boost. That way it saves up room on the main wand. I don't think I bothered with removing curses. It's just gonna hurt my damage at this point. And it's probably not going to remove the one curse I actually want it to, out of all the curses we have now. This damage is looking pretty good. The damage will go up quite a bit once we get a better wand, too. I should maybe consider moving things over to the Stellar Horn if the spaces are around the same. I should have done that in the shop room. We'll do that next time we mess with the wands. I don't think I really need to right now. Let's take the extra Cereal and Magic Vine. Magic Vine is something I would want to put on the main wand if I had the slots for it. So I think what the plan right now is going to be get through the rest of this area, building up as much gold and relics and spells as I can, and then in the next area, I'm probably going to hard go into shops. There's a wand out of these shops that will give the epic spell that I want, and that'll be the main thing that's going to push the build into its final form. Another Lightning Dash plush. And whoa, I really butchered the pronunciation on that. I said it backwards. I tried to say Lightning Das plush or something like that. Anyways, don't mind me. Old man having a stroke over here. But anyways, another Lightning Dash plus will not be, or will be a good thing to see. If we can get that to plus, it should help out with the damage. Though by the end of the run, the Lightning Dash isn't going to be our DPS tool. That all depends on if I get the epic spell I want, though. Okay, let's go with the duration. Accelerator will be useful later on, too, if I get what I need. Lockpicking potion... What do we have, actually? We have discount, we have refresh. I probably want to keep these. Even though I have infinite keys, essentially, the lockpicking potion can be used on curse chests to open those as well, without getting their curses. So it could be useful either way. None of those really matter here, but that's fine. Do we want to keep going on to spells? Let's see, we have a crit damage, we have Prospector's Gloves, we don't have Prospector's Pick yet. So maybe we go Relic. I don't know if that's the right choice, actually. I could potentially be spending a lot of my money on epic spell rerolls, and that's going to just completely remove my Prospector's pickaxe bonus damage, but I don't know, it's something that it might happen or it might not. What is my crit rate? 88? We can still use Demon Mask, especially because if I switch to the epic spell, it won't have the same base crit rate of Lightning Dash. Another reason that Lightning Dash just works very well as a projectile is that it has high crit rate. It's actually kind of funny how much better it works as a projectile than a lot of other things that were more of made to be projectiles. Let's go Chain of Lightning and Volley here, and then I might try to do a Forge if we see another one. I could have refreshed what stages were there. That's something I kind of forget you can do. It doesn't come up as often as refreshing other things, but you can refresh room selections with the refresh potions. It worked out, though. We got the processing room here. So I'm going to take a quick break on my end, and then also I'll figure out what I'll do, and I'll cut back to that part. So I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, we are back. What we ended up doing was moving everything over to Stellarhorn for the extra damage bonus. I do lose some crit rate, but we still have plenty of crit rate, so it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. It probably wasn't honestly necessary to even move it over, since we'll be getting a new wand pretty soon anyways. But for now, also what we've done is put a Capacity Stone here, and then that allows us to put in Vine, which is... It might not seem like it's worth it for the damage loss on Capacity Stone, but we're doubling our mana regen this way, and it makes a huge difference in DPS. Other than that, we got we got damage boost up to plus, split up to plus, and then I think we threw in an extra overload with the extra space as well. So now I can do up to around 38,000 DPS once everything starts splitting, which isn't real high yet, but it's getting there. You can do the final boss rush pretty comfortably at around 100,000 DPS, so doing 30,000 already isn't that bad. This boss isn't going to last very long at all. The only reason he lasted more than a couple seconds is because of his invulnerability phase. This is not good. I really don't want the post slot here. It's gonna knock me back so much. And then this is also similarly not very useful for me right now. That's unfortunate. So this is pretty much just a dead wand. We can get Drill for another slot. Sure, why not? Maybe I should have picked up Prospector's Vest there, so I could get the set bonus. Don't think I want to sell anything. I'll probably either use or reroll everything that I've got right now. So like I said before, the plan for this area is probably just going to be spamming shops until I get the wand that has either the epic rarity spell that I need, or a different one. A different epic spell is what I mean. I think we're pretty close to... Yeah, we're pretty close to another plus on duration, so we'll take that. We don't need any more splits since we got these split up to ++. I suppose I could throw something else here. What do I even... Let's just throw another damage bonus in there for now. We don't really need to worry about messing with the wand too much right now. It's gonna one-shot through all these rooms pretty easily. And then we're pretty much just waiting... We're waiting on another wand, and especially a wand with the epic spell that I need to really put the final part of the build together. Ooh, if I could get the Overload ++ here, that would be huge, actually. That is also something I will gladly take. Oh, so close to the plus. The ++, I mean. I don't want to pay attention to that. I have too much stuff to keep track of already. We keep going relics, or... I think we just hard go into spells now, too. I still don't have Prospector's Pickaxe, but I'm really not that worried about it. Especially if I end up having to spend my money to reroll the epic spell that we got. That's probably fine. Nope, can't do that. Magic Bullet ++. That would work as a damage amplifier if I could find some way to get it off during my... Get it off automatically or during my spell chain. We don't really have... We can take the cereal there. That'll help out. We're gonna need 2 more cereals still, though, before we can get it to ++. I think I'm gonna go ahead and skip this song. It's a good song, but for some reason it's usually way louder than other music, and I don't want it to accidentally drown me out. Part of the reason why I'm spamming spells here too is just in hopes that I get an... You can get an epic spell out of a drop, which isn't too common, but in Nightmare 3 it does happen. In one of my practice runs for this build... Ooh, perfect! We got the cereal. We can also lock another lightning dash in case we get a couple more of those. But yeah, in one of my practice runs I just got the epic spell that I needed in the first area. It was absurd luck. Of course I don't get that kind of luck when I'm in a real run on recording. I didn't realize I had this Chaos Potion. I don't actually remember picking it up. One of the reasons I'm not as worried about Prospectors as I usually would be is that we do have the... We have the additional damage for each curse, which is giving us quite a lot already. It can kind of replace Prospectors in this case. Having both of them would obviously be nice, but I don't really care too much about damage min-maxing, as long as it does enough damage to comfortably win the run. Duplication Potion! Nice. So maybe we just go ahead and do this now. I'd like to keep the Discount Potion and the Refresh Potion. don't actually know which would be better. If I pick up this, and then Wealth Potion again, or if I would duplicate both the Wealth Potions on the ground. I also picked up a little bit of the money there, so that wasn't quite optimal. I was a little bit worried about walking into the snail, which I really shouldn't have been. It's slow enough that it shouldn't have been a problem. Now that I did get the duplication, it's almost back to the point of where I should start taking relics again, over spells at least. But for now, we're just going to look for the wand that we need. Featureless is a good wand, just for the storage and the MP cost reduction, but I guess I'll just keep re-rolling. There's another Lightning Dash. Do we have one? I think we have one saved somewhere. We could take this as reroll fodder for what we want. That's going to be more expensive long-term, though. Also, I'm going to have to fix my inventory soon. Doing inventory management from controller is very, very annoying. We did not get the wand we needed. Let's think about this. I didn't really bother changing my wand, but I guess something I can do quickly is this. It'll make things a little bit quicker. Not like we needed any more help going through these rooms. They go by so fast either way. We can't grab fortune earrings here, that'll help. Even though I won't be getting a ton of relic rooms, probably, I think it'll still be worth it. I might just lock everything here, just for rerolls. And then there's the other Lightning Dash I needed. Let me fix my inventory before I pick these up. Alright, so we'll grab the area boost, and then what do we throw in there? I can pretty much just throw whatever random plus I have, which... we could do the track, or we could do the time boost. Doesn't really matter either way. And then we can just either... what's that do for my regen? Oh, that's at 103, that'll be nice. We could maybe just stick the damage on there instead, but I think this will be fine, at least for now. That'll be something I mess with more once I get a new wand and switch around a lot more of the wand. If there's no reason for me to start min-maxing during the rooms themselves, then I'm not going to waste time doing it. Another boomerang blade, but I don't think we... I think we really had the means to make it ++, and I don't think we really need to either. So let's just keep picking up random stuff. We could maybe throw Reflection in somewhere, but we don't really need to. Let's head into processing and figure out some stuff. I think we do have the Cereal ++ here, so that'll be a pretty big upgrade. And then I'll see you guys after I figure out the rest of what I want to do. Okay, so we did do some reforging, but I'm not going to explain the wand quite yet. because we finally got to Sourceless, which was the wand I've been trying to reroll into. So I will go ahead and set up this wand, or I'll go ahead and set up the wand again, and then I'll explain the build. So I'll see you guys again in just a second. Okay, we finally got to the setup that I've been trying to build into this whole time. We're back to running Fuse with Lightning Dash, and now we're using Lightning Dash as our serial trigger, for the same reason as we were using the Boomerang Blades before. They don't disappear when they hit an enemy, and especially with the Lightning Dash, they scale really well off of duration, so they're going to last a long time too. And now, what we're serial casting into is Mana Absorption. This does something really neat, where a lot of times with serial, you'll run out of MP as you're casting your serial casted thing. But with Mana Absorption, it kind of self-perpetuates itself. So it gives mana back, and then the Lightning Dashes are able to serial cast even more, and then you can just keep looping this to the point of where you can have a lot of them stacking out constantly. And you can see that we already spiked a ton in DPS just from doing this. We can get up to 200,000. That's probably our cap for now. But if we get a better wand to put this setup on, we can probably raise it even higher. So now you can see I kind of just have this death ball that floats around the screen and one-shots anything it comes near. The only kind of thing you could consider like a downside is that the projectiles are on the slower end of things when it comes to the mana absorption projectile. But that's not really a big deal when they just one-shot everything they touch. Do I need Demon Mask here? Yes, I definitely need some more crit rate. What do we reset here? Resetting Seed of Greed is always an option, because you keep the extra HP that you've earned from it. Resetting Silver Key could be the play here. We have so many keys, we don't need it anymore. I could try to reset something into Prospector's Pick, but I don't think that's really going to matter. Or it's not so much that it's not going to matter, it's just a very low chance of it actually happening. Now, there is one bad thing that could happen here. Okay, Merchant's Bauble's fine. It's not really that great. It's not bad either, though. What I didn't want to say, because I would likely jinx it, is I don't know if you can actually... I think I screwed this up. I don't know if you can reroll into Reboot Key and then have your wands forcibly taken from you immediately after you get it set up the way you want it. I would be very unhappy if that happened. You can throw Arcane Barrier on there just for some safety. And now that we've got the... Actually, I should have taken the... Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have taken the shop there. I did get the spell that I wanted, but I still need another wand to use as my main wand. You know, since we have 200 shields saved up and we have so much damage, I might try to reroll my other epic spell. Complex Locks doesn't matter here since we have the infinite... Oh wait, we don't have the infinite keys, but I'm not going to be spending through 16 keys at this point, unless something really crazy happens. Like I get the relic that allows me to duplicate chests and get really insane luck or something. But no, there's pretty much no chance that I burn through 16 keys. But yeah, I'm thinking if we have extra rerolls somewhere, we might just reroll the Arcane Barrier and get another magic upgrade. Magic suppression doesn't matter at this point. Shrinking Backpack doesn't really matter. Bloodthirsty doesn't matter. Another Bloodthirsty. We care about... We don't care about it if we keep the Arcane Barrier, but if I don't keep Arcane Barrier, then I do actually care, so let's just hold off on that. I need to remember that I have the discount and the refresh potions as well. I'm pretty bad about remembering potion usage. There's just a lot to keep track of in this game, especially when you're trying to do commentary on top of that. It's something I'm definitely getting more used to over time, but it's still gonna take more time to get down fully. I'm not opposed to having another capacity stone, potentially. So let's just take that, and we'll grab this just for rerolls. So is there anything else I could maybe do better here? I don't think so. I could maybe consider putting another multi-shot on somewhere. But I think it hurts my MP pretty badly. Actually, no. I don't need to worry about Magic Vine anymore. That's right. So I can do whatever. And I think, yes, I want these splits before... I mean, I want these split after the multi-shot. That'll be more efficient. And then, what else do we do here? Duration doesn't matter as much as it used to, since we can always just cast more of them with the mana absorption. Duration is still okay to have, but I don't think I can replace any of the... I can also replace the Tranquil Bloom, but I don't really have a way to do so quite yet. So for now, we'll just stick with this. I don't think we'll have any problems with this boss. He's not dying as quick as I thought he... Oh, never mind. I just had to be patient and wait for the splits and everything to go off. Once they start splitting, that's when the real damage starts to hit. Standardization is pretty much just fine here. It's not anything too special, but it will give me more space, which is what I need, and it'll have better base stats. Well, maybe... I wonder how final damage is calculated, if it's calculated any differently than other types of damage increases. There could be a world where the final damage is worth more, but that's not something I know enough about the game. I think the 3 extra slots would end up being more useful, though. So I definitely need to go through and process a lot of stuff. I don't need tracking as much anymore. I definitely still need the 1, but I don't need to worry as much about getting it to ++, which is unfortunate because I definitely can get it to ++ here. Alright, so I did end up refreshing my epic spell here into another Core of Flame. And then also what we've done is use a Mimicry Cube, so technically we have 3 Core of Flames, mostly just for the 100% damage bonus. It's not something too massive, but it does help out. It's pretty much equivalent to like a damage boost plus plus, I believe. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it is helpful. Overload's giving us 200%, so Overload is technically better, but Overload does have the mana cost attached to it. And then we've got a Multi-Shot Plus and a Core of Thunder being magic upgraded. We got another Multi-Shot 2++, and then we're running the splits on here as well. So it's pretty much the same setup as before, just with some slight changes around to things. And now we're able to do millions of DPS pretty easily. I don't know quite how I got it up to 8 million before, but we're sitting around 5 to 6 most of the time now. I don't know if maybe the 8 million was just a really high crit rate thing or what quite happened there. Either way, we're going to one-shot through all the rest of the bosses at this point. We don't even have Prospector's Pickaxe either, which we definitely don't need. He doesn't even get a chance to be alive. Poor guy. We can still use the crit rate, can't we? Oh, we're at 99%. We don't need it. None of these help with damage, but it's fine. Trying to think of if there's anything else we could do to maybe optimize it a little bit more. Probably just getting more levels of stuff like Overload or Multi-Shot. I almost touched the snail there. That would have been such a tragedy. I don't even know what the snail does if it touches you, if it just does constant damage. It's not something I've taken very often. We have 4 things. I don't want to do that. I'm fine with that and that, though. Let's see what this gives us. Well, it's rerolls at least. Alright, let me figure out what I want to do again, and then I'll see you guys again. Okay, so nothing too significant for changes this time. We were able to get a damage boost plus, and then we were actually able to reroll that thing we got from the special room into another multi-shot plus. And then I think we also got an extra split plus as well, so things should go pretty crazy now if my computer doesn't just explode. And now we can maybe hit the 10 million. We're really close to it. We're not quite there, but it is close at least. By the way, Core of Thunder is actually doing a ton of damage here. It's actually out damaging the projectiles themselves at this point. Core of Thunder is always something I've had really mixed results with. Sometimes it does a lot of my damage, and sometimes it feels like it doesn't do anything. But here in this case, it's pulling a lot of weight, which is why I have it on the magic upgrade. Maybe that's not the best place to put my magic upgrade, but it seems to be working at least. We don't need the crit rate. We don't need the crit rate. We'll just take this, I guess, for a little bit of extra safety. We are eating through some of our shielding. I think I dropped a lot of my shielding while I was thinking and testing things to the bombs from my curse, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. The game's still giving us splits, even though we have two pluses. I don't think it's going to matter too much what we pick here. If I could get another overload to pull us, that would be nice, but I don't know if that's going to happen by the end of the run. None of these matter at all, so we'll just do whatever. if changing over my Echo stuff would... Or not, I always want to call it Echo, but it's... What is it called? Area Boost? Not sure if changing over any of this stuff would help. I think it's probably fine the way it is. So let's see what I could do here. I could try to re-roll something to get the final overload plus. I could also re-roll a Core of Flame and see if I could get another... Would Magic Upgrade really do a whole lot for me, though, at this point? I could Magic Upgrade an Overload and another Overload, I suppose? I don't know if... That might not actually be worth it. Because it would take up an extra slot, too. Let's see what we get out of this first. We could be upgrading Fuse, but we don't need to at all. All of the mana's being refunded anyways, so just having it at plus doesn't really do a whole lot for us here. It's something I can do, but I don't need to do. Okay, so that reforging room was a complete bust. I didn't get anything that I can see I can really do right now. I need to keep the tracking. I need to keep these. Let's see, what is the difference? That's 50%. This is also 50%, so there's no reason to switch that. I think this is how I want to have the magic upgrade set up. Core Thunder's doing a lot, and multi-shot helps out quite a lot as well, especially because it's playing into the splits as well. I wonder if it's worth it to maybe switch out an Overload for another split here. That's at about 9k, so it's... or 9 million. It's the same as what it was before. Oh wait, let's see. Let's see what the damage is after my computer stops dying. Did I actually just hard crash the game for once? Or is it hanging for a long time? I might have finally managed to hard crash the game. Oh, wait. It's trying to live. We moved a couple frames at least. The funny part of all that is that it didn't even do more DPS than before. It just... the only thing it killed was my computer. Let's just go back to the overload. Don't want to go through that again. So let's see if Endless Devourer can last for more than a second. He did manage to last through one single volley of it. Hello. Goodbye. And there we go, that's the run. Getting up to almost 10 million DPS is good for me. I'm happy with that. Let's see how quickly we can kill the producer with it. I don't think it'll be anything too fast, but it should be possible. I didn't end up using my discount or refresh potions at any point of the run, which, oops, it's just something I forgot to do. Do I even need to use an invincibility potion here? I don't think so. Okay, that's a very quick producer kill. I'm okay with that. thank you guys for watching. If you want to leave some comments about whether you want me to cut more of the beginning of the runs, or if you like it better with the full run in, then just let me know in the comments and I'll switch around things based on what people say for next time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.